Toxic people are terrible, and if you let them get to you, it can really destroy you. Cutting them out says, I have self-worth and self-respect, and I value myself enough to put myself first. So here are some of the warning signs of toxic people. You may think someone that's annoying, demanding, or a little difficult as someone who is toxic. That may not always be the case. Sometimes they're just annoying. They're not necessarily toxic. Those kind of people, you don't really maybe need to cut them out, but it might be better to limit the time that you spend with them. Slowly but surely push them to the side. The 4 biggest warning signs of a toxic person is that they try to control you. They try to control what you do, what you wear, who you talk to, who you hang out with. Basically all the things that are none of their business, they try to control. I get if a friend tries to maybe give you a suggestion or give you their advice because they're looking out for you. But if someone's trying to tell you what to do and how to live your life, cut them. The second warning sign is they disregard your boundaries. If you let them know, hey, I could use a little space right now and I just want to kind of do my own thing for a couple days. And they're like, okay, and they just show up at your door the next day anyway, that person's probably toxic. If you don't like doing certain things or don't want to meet with certain people and they continue to force you and coerce you into doing these things out of your own free will, knowing good and well that it makes you unhappy and upset, they don't care about you and they don't care about your boundaries. Or if they went and told something that you had told them in confidentiality and went and told someone that they shouldn't have, then that person doesn't respect your boundaries and you should probably cut them off. The third warning sign is they're always right. No matter what, whether you provide factual proof or evidence against it, they're right no matter what. Even if it doesn't make sense, they're right and you're wrong. And the fourth warning sign, when they do figure out that they might actually be wrong, they'll play the victim. The number one, I know this is the fourth one, but the number one warning sign of someone who is toxic is someone who's always playing the victim. They never own up to their mistakes. They never admit that they're wrong. It's always, oh, woe is me. Oh, you attacked me and blah, blah, blah. No, sweetheart, you're toxic and you need to go. Well, now that we know the warning signs of toxic people, how do we get them out of our lives? Well, first, I'm going to tell you it's going to get worse before it gets better. With people who are toxic, they always play the victim, so they're never wrong. You hurt them and now they're going to react to it. And that usually either is in violence, revenge, spitefulness. Something's going to happen and you're just going to have to brace yourself for that. The second point is you don't owe anyone an explanation. This is not a debate. I'm not discussing whether or not I want you in my life anymore. I'm telling you I no longer want you in my life. If I feel like telling you why, I'll tell you why. And if I don't, point blank, I don't want to be your friend or I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be near you. It is what it is. You just kind of have to accept it. Why would you want to be friends with someone who doesn't want to be friends with you? Thirdly, distance yourself. This is the key factor in cutting toxic people off. Giving them the time of day and the attention that they're looking for will only bring back and invite that toxicity back into your life. So whether that be distancing yourself on social media, distancing yourself via the phone, if you need to block them, block them. I highly recommend it because it doesn't give them the opportunity to reach out to you and invite themselves or sneak their way back in because they'll find a way. So the best thing you can do is to remove yourself from this situation. You can't control what they're going to do, but you can control what you do. Don't answer their phone calls or texts. Don't follow them on Instagram, Snapchat, or any social media platforms. Block their number, block their email. Whatever you need to do to distance yourself from this person and for your own mental sanity, do that. The next point is they're more than likely going to try to reach out to you and try to weasel their way back in because they love sucking your energy and they love taking advantage of you and they love manipulating you. It gives them a sense of power. So when they try to make their way back in, don't argue, don't debate, don't discuss. You've made your decision. The point is you calmly restate your boundaries, although they're probably not going to respect it. Calmly restate your boundaries and find a new way to block them or not respond. Don't entertain it. Don't give them the time of day. Don't give them hope. Don't lead them on. Don't string them along. Just restate, hey, listen, I've already told you I no longer want to continue our friendship, relationship, etc., and then remove yourself from the situation. Also, it doesn't necessarily have to be a cold turkey for some people. Maybe you slowly start to ghost yourself. you don't respond as much, you're busy with other friends, so you make excuses not to hang out. Maybe the situation is a little sticky and you can't just cut them off. Maybe you have mutual friends. There's a lot of different reasons why you might not be able to cut this person off as quickly as you'd like to. You can slowly start to not respond to their messages, make excuses not to hang out, leave them on read. Eventually, they'll get the point. And if they don't, it's time to have the hard conversation you're trying to avoid. In this, there is one exception: family. Sometimes family is what's toxic in your life. That's unfortunate. You know, family is the one thing that should be there, support you, love you, and the people that you can count on. They always say blood is thicker than water, so family should be the people that you can lean on and depend on. But that's not always the case for some people. For some people, family is the people that are toxic. Their friends are more supportive than their family. Strangers are more supportive than their family. It just kind of depends. So if in that case, the people that are toxic are actually family members, the situation is a little bit more difficult. You're gonna have to see them at family events, holiday parties, dinners, hangouts, birthdays, weddings, all those things. The likelihood of you being able to cut this person off forever is very, very slim. So instead, my recommendation is to cut them off emotionally and distance yourself. So cut them off emotionally. You can see them, you can be cordial, you can respond in person if they come up to you, but you don't have to reach out to them when they're not in front of you. You don't have to respond when they text you or call you. You can make excuses. The only time you have to see them is at family gatherings. And then those are in small doses, and then you just leave. And then secondly, distance yourself. So what I did was I actually just moved away. That actually helped a lot. Sometimes creating that distance between you and that person, like actual physical distance, actually helps out a lot. You only see them 2-3 times a year for a couple of hours at a time. You don't get to have enough time to start gossiping or getting too deep into your life because you're too busy catching up on what's new. And by the time you're done catching up, it's time to leave. It's perfect. So if you do happen to move away or move out of the house or physically distance yourself away from the people that are toxic to you, then you only have to see them every so often for a couple hours at a time, or in little increments of which you can manage, half hour, whatever it is. On Bob's Burgers, it's 15 minutes with his dad. Whatever your limit is, hang out with them for a set amount of time and then make your exit. That way, you can save your mental sanity, they'll never have to know the wiser, and then you move on and you get to be happy. Whatever it is for you, limit that time you spend with that person so that you can move on and they live their lives and you can continue living yours. Alright guys, those are my tips for cutting out toxic people in your life. It's important that you put yourself first, that everyone in your circle, social circle or familial circle, makes you feel loved and supported and are there for you. And if they're not, life is too short. Cut them. Alright guys, thank you so much for always tuning in. Always looking forward to making more content for you and excited for whatever the future brings. As always, keep designing your best life. Bye!